Hey Yogi, welcome to class. If you're new to the channel, I'm Rhi, this is Burghley, and if you're returning, then it's sick to have you back. It's awesome to practice with you. Today's class is a wristless class, so we won't be bearing any weight down onto the hands. You don't have to have any kind of wrist injury to want to do that. You might be doing a lot of handstanding or a lot of, just generally a lot of yoga, which is very weight bearing on the wrists and the hands heavy. So this might just be a nice change. We're going to work on just opening up and strengthening the lower body will be our main area of focus. And blocks and straps are not essential at all, but grab them if you know you like them. We may use them for some elements of the class, who knows. Let's see how we go. And the reason for the inspiration for the wristless class is I have a fractured, or did have a fractured scaphoid bone, little bone in your hand and slash wrist. And so I have been kind of doing a lot of this type of yoga myself. I thought it might be useful to share it. If you have any interest whatsoever, which I'm sure for 99% of yogis, there is no interest in watching it, but if you have any interest at all, then I've done a vlog on the wrist injury, just talking about how I've managed to maintain my yoga life with a broken wrist. So it might be useful if you're going through some sort of injury, it might be not. Anyway, I'll pop a card up in the corner and pop the link in the description, just in case it's of interest to you. But anyway, enough of that. I've been talking for way too long. Let's get into practice. So we're going to come down onto our backs to start this practice. So scoot yourself kind of in the middle of your mat and then just come onto your back. Any way you're going to get there is absolutely cool. Take the feet as wide as the mat, or just a little bit wider than the hips, and then let the knees knock in together. You can close down the eyes here. We're just gonna check in with the breathing and take some nice long breaths before we get into it. So you can have a soft gaze, or by all means, the eyes can close. You might want to take one hand to the heart space, maybe hand to the belly, whatever feels good. Start to notice the shoulders feel a bit heavier as you kind of release into your mat. Bill's has decided that that cushion was not good enough and she's moved on to another cushion. Lovely. And just take some lovely long inhales here. If you have taken your hand onto a part of the belly or the chest, then it's a really nice place to check in that physical quality of the breath. As you inhale, you'll feel the body gently push into the hand. And as you exhale, you'll feel the body gently relax into the earth. Try and relax the jaw, relax the space between the eyebrows, the third eye space. And just take this opportunity to just feel really heavy, feel really kind of grounded into your mat. As you inhale, feel the belly rise, the chest lifting. And as you exhale, feel the spine go towards the mat. Belly button towards the spine. A couple more. Inhaling through the nose, filling all the way up. And exhale through the nose, letting it all go. One more. Inhale through the nose, nice and strong. Try and get as much of that O2 as you can. And exhale. Let it all go out. Nice. If the eyes are closed, you can blink them back open now. And from here, draw both knees in towards the chest. So we're bringing both thighs in. You don't need to use the arms here, but if you'd like to, you can just wrap the forearms around the shins. And then start to send the shoulder blades back in towards the mat. And really try and draw the knees in towards the chest here. So you're looking for that kind of compression, I guess, of thigh onto chest. Let's work on the ankles first. So let's take the feet and really flex them strongly. So bringing all the toes back towards the shins and then point, flex, point. Nice. Maybe take in circles. So take in circles with the ankle one way. My ankles click horrendously, so you might be able to hear that. And take the circles the other way. Just getting into that ankle joint. Nice. And then from here, you're going to let the left leg go long. You're going to draw the right knee right the way in here. So you're looking for that maximum kind of range of the thigh coming into the chest. So really, really pull it in. And then see if you can go any deeper if you just take it out to the right a little bit. So you've not got that kind of skin on skin or bone on bone compression. You've got a bit more space. And then bring it back in. Take it out. Bring it in. We're just gently kind of encouraging a bit of oil, I guess, into the hips. Oiling ourselves up into that lovely hip socket. Nice, and we'll take a bit of a spinal twist here. So you can take the left hand on top of the right knee, or if you're not using your hands at all, you can just let that right knee go over to the left. And then take the right arm out into a T. You can look over to the right if it feels okay. So you fully roll now onto this left hip, the left side. Don't worry too much about how far. I think sometimes we have this feeling that the knee has to get to the ground, and so we'll come all the way over, but then maybe we're not getting a lovely twist in the upper back because the right shoulder's lost its connection to the earth. So, you know, focus on sending the right shoulder down. And then when you're ready, roll back into the center. Right leg goes long, left arm wraps around left shin, and just start to work into this left hip like we did on the right. So just really squeezing the knee into the chest. I automatically feel totally different. This is my more open side. So have that little check in yourself, you know, what are the imbalances that you have within your own body. So for me, I'm way more open on the left. This left knee feels like it could just keep going in. And it's nice to pick up those observations. They're just good. They're good to know about your own body, really. And maybe sometimes quiz yourself why. And then start to take the hip take the knee over. So it's opening up the hip a little bit, and then drawing the knee in towards the armpit a bit more. Take it back into the center, take it out, back into the center, take it out. This time you're going to draw that left knee all the way over to the right. You might feel a little click. If you can, take the gaze over to the left hand, take the left arm out into a T. Try and keep that left shoulder connected. And you've rolled all the way over onto this right hip. Just a nice supine twist, just to wake the body up a little bit. And then bringing the knees back into the center. Nice. From here, take the arms alongside the thighs, and then just lift the head, lift the chest up off the mat. So you've got your shoulder blades now off the mat. And if you want to use your hands, you can kind of bring the structure in towards each other a bit more, but it's not necessary. You can just really work on lifting as close as you can. And then from here, drop the feet down, roughly hip distance. making sure you can take all the back. So the heels will have a couple of kind of pulsing bridges here. So you can take the elbows, bend at the elbow and bring the hands up. So you kind of got this, I don't know, you feel like a robot situation, just so that there's no point of contact with the wrist on the floor. Take an inhale, push the spine into the mat. Take an exhale, lift the hips. And then inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Really engage the glutes at the top. Send the knees forward, send the heels back, so you've got that really active work in the legs. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. And we're not thinking too much about the back here, the back bend. We're really focusing on just switching everything on in the lower body. Glutes, quads, hamstrings. Take a couple more. Exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, and inhale. On your next one, exhale all the way up. I kind of lied there. Take it all the way up and just hold it. Really think about grounding through the heels and trying to almost bring the heels back under you, but you're trying to send the knees away from you. So you're just really using that lift. Glutes are engaged, hamstrings are working. And then lower all the way down. Nice. Knees into the chest, arms alongside the legs again, and lift up. Take the forehead towards the knees. And then this time from here, we're going to keep the arms where they are. We're just going to send the legs out long, keeping the lower spine connected to the earth. Draw the knees back in. Keep that chest lifted the whole time. Send the legs out. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, send it out. Inhale, bring it in. Feel the work. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hold it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, bring it in. And exhale, release. Whew. Welcome to the core. Cool. Relax a little bit. Let's take a few pulsing bridges to just flush that out of the body. So inhale, press the spine in. Exhale, lift up. You can take the hands to robot. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Next exhale, hold in your kind of highest bridge without the arms. Take a few breaths here. And then slowly lower back down. Bring the knees into the chest, arms alongside, lift the chest off the mat. Lift the chest towards the knees, lift the shoulders off the mat. You know where we're going now, so take an inhale. On your exhale, legs go long. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, keep the lower spine connected to the earth. Exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, hold here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. See if you can lift the chest and the forehead any higher. Take an inhale and exhale. Lower down. Nice, good job. From here, we're not done. We're going to take those pulsing bridges again, last time. So hands into the robot. Inhale, lower the spine. Exhale, lift the hips high. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Hold here. See if you can lift those hips any higher. Everything's working lower body wise. Keep smiling. And lower down. Good job. From here, start to bring the knees in and just rock and roll here a few times up and down the spine. The feet might go overhead, they may not. Having a nice little wake up of the spine. And then on your next one, drop the feet, come all the way up to standing. Nice. Good work. Let's take some forward folds. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, Drishti lifts. Exhale, folding over, Uttanasana, palms through the center line. And instead of letting the hands drop to the mat here, we're just going to take the arms alongside the body. You might want to bend the knees here. And let the head hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Again, you can take the fingertips to the shins, or you can just take the arms alongside you. And exhale to stand. Let's take a few more of those. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Pop a bend in the knees if you need to. The head's going to go long. Drishti in between the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, all the way back up. Urdhva Hastasana. And release. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, chest on thighs, take the arms behind you, the head hangs heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stand, arms go up. Inhale and exhale, release. Nice. From here, take the feet as wide as the mat. Heels in, toes out, hands into the center of the chest. Take an inhale. On the exhale, we're going to start to bend the knees and slowly lowering down. Come in about halfway. Inhale to stand. Exhale, we lower nice and slow. About halfway. Try and keep the spine long, chest lifted. Inhale. Stand. Exhale. Hold it here. Inhale to stand. And on your next exhale, come all the way down to your lowest version of Malasana. So slowly, slowly, slowly. Knees are going out, butt's lowering. You may not want to have the hands together here, that's fine. If so, you can just take the arms out, I guess like wings, and just use that to encourage the knees to stay nice and wide. Cool. Malasana. Let it all just sink in for a moment. Notice how the hips are feeling. You might want to take a little bit of a wriggle, left to right. It actually challenges the balance a little bit more when there's no hands in at the center of the chest. And then come to stillness. Drop the butt down. So we want to keep into this. I'm going to scoot up the mat. You're going to see why in a moment. But we want to keep this kind of nice, almost like a seated Malasana feel. I've heard this described as like a bit of a bear sit. So you want the toes turning out, heels turning in. And we want to sit up nice and tall here. So you can grab hold of the ankles if you can, or you can just let the hands be loose. But just sit up nice and tall. And then take the arms out in front of you. We're going to drop both knees to the left, back to center, both knees to the right, back to center. If you don't have any hand issues and you need to drop the hands behind you, you can, that's cool. But just keep a nice fluid movement. Center, left, center. Right, you can see why I went back. I always wriggle up my mat in this posture. Center, left, and center. Stay where you are. Take the arms out. Nice. And from here, roll back, and then come up to stand again. Nice job. From here, bring the feet towards the top of the mat. You can have the feet roughly underneath the hips. Nice. And then taking the hands into the center of the chest. Really send some energy down that right leg. So you're gonna really work into that right foot. And then just lift the left foot off the mat. Keep the left toes flexed. Hands on hips or hands into prayer is totally cool. So really suck in here. So we don't want to sink into the hip, we want to lift up. So drawing everything in, probably show you a bit easier front on. So what we don't want is just kind of like dumping into one hip or another. So really try and suck in that left hip. Hands on hips or hands into prayer, your call. It's all good with me. Nice, and from here, start to lean forward, tilting forward, keeping the feet in line as much as you can. Only go in until you start to feel any rounding in the lower spine. And lift. On your exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. One more of those. Exhale, fold. And inhale, lift. Nice. On your next one, fold forward and then start to take that left foot behind you, tilting with control, bringing the body parallel to the earth, dropping the left hip down, warrior 3. Pop a little bend in the right leg and keep bending the leg until that left foot lowers. Nice. When it does, the arms come up alongside the ears, coming into your high lunge. So a nice stretch here on this left hip flexor. Really tuck the tailbone under here and then straighten the leg. Should feel nice. Deep bend of the front knee. And then slowly lower that left knee to the mat. Start to straighten that front leg. And then just start to fold over, taking the arms behind you. Of course, if hands are not an issue, you can bring the hands to the earth, but it might feel nice just to test this out without hands. Keep drawing the right hip back. Keep squeezing the right heel into the mat. And then inhale, arms come up, drop the foot, come into low lunge. You can untuck the back toes or have them tucked, it's cool. It's really hard to not tuck them when you're doing that half split. Let's tuck them again, straighten the front leg, swing the arms back, coming into that half split. So keeping the chest nice and long, looking ahead, keeping the hips nice and square. And inhale, come back up. Tuck the toes if they're not, the back toes, and then come back into your crescent lunge. From here, spin the hips over to the left, wriggle the front foot, come into your warrior 2. So really drawing the pubic bone up here, keeping the tailbone nice and long. Squeezing. It's almost like you're trying to drag the heels towards each other, the feet towards each other. So you've got all this lovely engagement here. Nice. Take an inhale, straighten the legs. Turn all 10 toes to face the left side of the mat. Inhale, lift up. Drishti lifts. Exhale, fold. So you can take the hands to the hips, or you can just take them behind you and just let the head hang heavy. You might want to catch opposite arm to opposite elbow here. That's a nice way of just giving the shoulders a little bit of a stretch. Padottanasana. Nice. Inhale, come all the way up. Turn that right heel back in, come back into warrior two. Bills is snoring. Scoot that right foot over, come back into this high lunge, tucking the tailbone under. And then on your inhale, bring the left knee into the chest. You don't have to take hold of it. And exhale, let the foot land. Just flush it out with a forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold over, hands go behind you. Pop a bend in the knees if you need to. Head heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, rise up. Fingertips touch. Inhale, release. Nice. Weight goes into that left foot, same on this side. So send some of your control, some of your thoughts down that left foot, because that's what we're going to need for the balance. Make sure you're gripping the toes into the mat, hands into the center or onto the hips, and then just lift the right foot off, flexing the toes strongly. So remember, we're sucking that left hip up, we're drawing the right hip up, so we're trying to keep the hips as neutral as we can. From here, take an inhale. As you exhale, just tilt forward. Try to keep the toes in line. We're just tilting a little bit until we have any rounding in the back, and then we stop. Inhale. Exhale. So it might be nice to put your hand into your lower back. You'll feel where you need to stop. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If you've got the hand on the hips or the back, now bring them into the center of the chest and start to take that right foot behind you. Draw the shoulder blades down the back body. Send the right hip down towards the mat. Warrior three. Slowly bend the left knee. Keep bending it with control until those right toes touch the mat. Once they do, arms up alongside the ears, high lunge. And then sink the hips low. Keep tucking the tailbone under. It's okay if you've got a little bend in the knee behind you. Try and straighten the leg once you've got that tailbone tuck. And then slowly on your exhale, lower with control. Keep the toes tucked or untucked, that's fine. And then straighten that left leg. You might need to kick the heel forward a little bit. Take an inhale. On your exhale, hands go behind you. Really squeezing that left heel into the earth, really drawing back the toes towards the shins. Keeping the chest long, keeping the heart lifted. Drawing that left hip back. Bringing the right hip around, looking for neutrality in the hips. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Inhale, come up. Bend the left knee, drop the left foot, find low lunge. Sink the hips low. Take a couple of breaths. Bills is snoring again. Almost sounds like Ujjayi breath, so it's cool. Inhale, straighten that leg. Lift the toes off the mat if you can. Drop the heel in, and then exhale, send the chest forward, arms back. For Ardha Hanumanasana. Keep that chest lifted. See if you can lift the tailbone. Keep the left toes flexed. And then inhale, come up, drop the foot, come into low lunge. Tuck the back toes if they weren't. From here, rise up into that high lunge. And then swivel into warrior two. You might need to shuffle the feet, that's cool, but coming into it. So the top half, well, the top of the body, the arms, the shoulders, they're chill. They're not overly tense and working. They're just you being your guide. but the lower body, that's where the work is happening. So the belly button's drawing back, tailbone lowers. Think of it as a two-way motion. Lift the pubic bone, drop the tailbone, and then find that lovely warrior two. Inhale, straighten the left leg, turn the toes to face the mat. Exhale. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the drishti. Exhale, send the chest between the legs. Coming into Padottanasana again. You can take opposite hand to opposite elbow if it's available. No worries if it's not. And just let everything hang here. Try and keep the shoulders away from the ears. And again, you know, you can have a bend in the knees if this isn't very accessible just yet. That's fine. Just do whatever you need to do for this pose to work for you. Make the pose work for your body. Keep breathing here. Try and make sure the weight is across the whole foot and not just sinking into the heels. And then inhale, come up. Swivel the left foot, rebend into warrior two. Shuffle the left foot over, find high lunge. On your inhale, draw the knee into the chest, no need to use the hands. And exhale, lower the foot. So we'll do that one again. We'll just speed it up a little bit. Weight into the right foot, hands on hips or to the heart center. Leaning forward, lifting the left foot off the mat. Only go in as far as you can before you feel that lower spine start to curve or round, and then inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale. Try not to sink into that right leg, try and grow out of it, come tall out of it. Exhale. Hands into the center of the chest. Start to take the left leg behind you. So dropping the left hip consciously. It's going to want to open. You can have a micro bend in the standing leg. The chest is long, the gaze is ahead, the toes are pointing down. Slowly pop a bend in the right knee. Keep bending, bending, bending. Lower the toes behind you. Come in to high lunge. Lower down. All the way. Low lunge. Sink the hips low. Inhale, straighten that right foot. Maybe scoot it forward a bit. Exhale. Start to sink the body over the front leg. Not rounding, so keeping the back long. Chest is lifted. Collarbones broad. We're just working into this right hamstring here. So keep flexing the right toes, sucking the right femur bone back into the hip socket. So top of the thigh bone, really drawing back in. And then keeping this left hip bringing around. So we have these neutral hips here. Inhale, come up, drop the foot, bend the knee, high lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, sink the hips. Inhale, straighten the legs, swing the arms around. Keep the chest and the gaze lifted whilst lowering over the body. Inhale. Nice. Back toes tuck if they weren't already. Rise up into crescent lunge. Exhale, turn into warrior two. Deep bend of the front knee. Find stability in the warrior. Straighten that front leg. Turn the right toes around. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, send the hands back. Maybe just sending the hands towards the elbow here. Let the head hang heavy. Weight across the whole foot. We've got the heels slightly turned out. Shoulders away from the ears. Padottanasana. Inhale, rise up. Keep the hands where they are. Exhale, lower. Go all the way down. Inhale, rise up. Use the core. Exhale, lower. Nice. Inhale, come all the way up. Take the hands out. Turn the right foot back. Find warrior two. Spin the palms up. Drop the left hand. Reverse the warrior for a moment. So sending this left hip back. Looking up and over that right arm. Inhale, come back up. Turn the foot over to the right, spin up onto the back toes, high lunge. On your next inhale, bring the knee in towards the chest. Take the knee out to the side, and then try and bring that foot in for Vrikshasana tree pose. So hips are square here, which means that that knee might not go out as far as you want it to, but we're keeping the hips nice and neutral, nice and square. The hands can come into prayer here. Vrikshasana, your tree pose. And then release the foot straight away. Weight goes into the left foot, hands on hips or to the center of the chest. Lift the right foot off the mat. Be strong in this left leg here and lean it forward. Inhale, come back to stand on that left foot. Exhale, lean forward, try to keep it all in line, toes in line. Inhale to stand. Exhale, lean forward, hands into the center of the chest here if they weren't, and then start to draw that right leg back behind you. You can take a micro bend in the standing leg. Don't lock out in that knee. Drop the toes down towards the mat, flex the foot strongly, right hip towards the earth, and slowly bend the left knee. Drop the right toes behind you, arms alongside the head, high lunge. Exhaling, lower the knee down, low lunge. Drop the hips, sink them low. Low lunge. Drop the hips, sink them low. Inhale, straighten that right leg, arms go behind you. Take your version of half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Drawing the left hip back, drawing that left heel into the mat. Inhale, rise back up, drop the foot, bend the left knee. Exhale. Inhale, straighten the leg, arms behind you. Chest goes long, spine is long. Flex those left toes right the way back. Draw the left heel in. And then inhale, back up. Tuck the back toes under if they're not. Rise up into this high lunge. Exhale, turn to the right. Spin the left toes over a bit. Find warrior two. Again, we're relaxing through the shoulders. The work is happening from the abdomen down. Imagine you're trying to drag the feet towards each other. That's how much engagement you want in the lower body. Take an inhale. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Turn all 10 toes to face the right. The hands go behind you. Inhale. Exhale, fold. You can take opposite arm and bind it across each other, but that's not necessary. Or you can take the hands to the mat if wrists are not an issue. Let the head hang heavy, weight across the whole of the feet for Padottanasana. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, rise up. Use the body to lift you. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. Release the arms. The left foot's going to turn in. Deep bend of that left knee. Find warrior two. Left palm to the sky. Drop the back arm. Take that reverse warrior. Suck the right hip back. It's going to want to come forward. Looking up past the palm. And then exhale back. Warrior two. Shuffle the foot over. Come round into that high lunge position. Take an inhale, draw the knee in, and then pop that foot wherever it's going to go onto the inside of the left thigh. So again, don't worry about how wide the knee is. Use the hip to open rather than to turn the body. So keep the hip square and then just let that knee encourage the hip open. Hands into the center of the chest for Vrikshasana, tree pose. Standing nice and tall here. Pushing the leg into the foot, foot into the leg. Left big toe is pressing down into the mat to give you that stability, that rooting, like roots of a tree. Take an inhale and exhale. Drop the foot to the mat. Take the feet as wide as the mat. Inhaling, hands into the center of the chest. On your exhale, slowly bend the knees, take them nice and wide. Come all the way down. Find your malasana. The arms can go wide if you don't want the pressure of the hands touching, that's fine. Keep the chest lifted, keep the spine long. And then from here, take the arms out in front, lower the butt down. You might need to scoot back a little bit on your mat. From here, take the arms long, lift the chest, and then lift the feet up, really bend the knees, draw the knees in towards you, squeeze the legs together, coming into your boat pose, Navasana. Lifting the chest, lifting the gaze. We'll go to low boat, high boat. Low boat, high boat, low boat, high boat, low boat, hold it, and then release it all down. Come to the mat, nice. Who said you need to weight bear to get a good workout, a good stretch? Relax everything into the mat here. And then from here, bring the knees into the chest. Give them a nice squeeze. And then taking the arms out into a T, we're going to take both sets of knees over to the left, using the abdomen to control the landing. You might want to take one hand or one arm on top of the legs once they land, but again, we're just really working on drawing the right shoulder blade into the mat. So not it lifting and we're kind of in this sort of fetal position. We're looking for the twist here. Inhale, bring it all back in. Exhale, take it over to the right. Keep that left shoulder connected. You don't need the arm, but you can put the arm on top of the knees if it feels good. Take your gaze towards the left if that feels good too. Release the knees, bring them back into the chest. Drop the feet to the mat, take the arms back into robot, prepare yourself for the bridge pose. So make sure you can just tickle the backs of the heels with the hands. Take an inhale, flatten the spine. Take an exhale, lift the hips. Hold them up here. Notice if this feels any easier now that the lower body is a bit more awake. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Lower down. Reclined pigeon, so left ankle is going to go over that right shin. You can bring the right foot a bit closer into the mat so you get a bit of a deeper stretch. If arms and hands are not an issue for you, you could clasp hold of the right shin, left arm through the gap, and just draw the knee to the chest. If not, you're just going to hang here, that's cool. Keep pushing, even if you're not using hands, keep sending that left knee away from you. Keep flexing the left foot and then feel that work in the left hip. Switching legs, so dropping the left foot, taking the right ankle over the left thigh, and again keep sending, and this is great to see, well, how much control have I got? So with my hand I can probably send it quite far away. Can I do that when I'm not relying on force, when I'm just using what's available to the body? Just keep drawing the right knee away from you, flexing the right toes. And then release, take the feet as wide as the mat, and then windscreen wiper the legs in. So both legs go, both knees drop one way, through center, the other way, through center. Just keep doing this. It's a nice release for the lower back. It's also a nice way to get into the hips. Nice. And then from here, you might want to take, if you've got a block, a supported bridge to finish. So you're going to lift up, you're going to pop the block. You can take it onto its kind of horizontal long ways and then pop it underneath the sacrum. So if you don't have the block here, you're just going to be lifting up into a regular bridge pose. If you've got the block, it might feel nice to just pop it under the sacrum, so right at the bottom of the back. You'll know if you've got the right place because the feet are just going to lift off without feeling like you're wobbling off the block. So find your little setup, and then if you want to, you can bring one knee into the chest and straighten the leg. Obviously, if you've not got a block, then you're working a bit harder than me because you're lifting the hips. Keep drawing that right shin back towards the face. And then switch legs. Drop the right foot, left leg's gonna lift. Bring that left shin in towards the face. Feel the shoulders really push into the mat here. And then drop the feet. If you've got the supported bridge, you can lift both feet off. Maybe take both feet and have the soles of the feet coming up towards the ceiling. This is a really nice way to kind of decompress any inflammation in the legs. Letting it all settle. When you're ready, bend the knees, drop the feet. Take the block away, lower the spine back to the earth. Might feel quite nice if you've had the block there. And then your choice for Shavasana, I'm going to come into a supine Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet touch and the knees go wide, but you can take whatever Shavasana feels good to you. Whenever I'm in this position, I like to let the arms go overhead. Close down the eyes. Letting everything settle in. Feeling good that you found time to get on your mat today and do something for you. This is where I will leave you now. Feel free to hang you here for as long as you've got available to you. And hopefully Burghley and I will see you back here on the channel soon. Namaste.